Welcome to this week's episode of Mr. Wizard's Workshop, episode 41. It'll be a rapid review of productivity principles 9 through 12. So as a reminder, over the last 3 months, I've dived down into a group of 12 core principles for personal productivity, one principle at a time. These core principles are mindsets, beliefs, paradigms, patterns, mental models, which can be the foundation to build basically all of your specific productivity techniques, systems, and practices on. So I've used some variation, I'd say most of these principles for years, in some cases many years, but to give credit where credit was due, is Eben Pagan's excellent Wake Up Productive program, which helped me to really bring them all into even more focus and crystallize them. So this episode, I'm going to do a speed review of the remaining 4 principles, 9 through 12, which corresponds to episodes 35 through 38 of Mr. Wizard's Workshop. So as usual, pay close attention, because there will be a test at the end. Actually, we're going to have a discussion about which of these 4 is either most useful to you or potentially the most challenging for you. If you'd like a copy of this slide deck, just email me here at support@theaccountabilitywizard.com, and I'll be happy to send you a copy. So principle number 9 was choose, don't decide. So what's the difference between these? Is this a distinction without a difference? No, it really isn't. So decide has the root side, which means killing or destruction. Homicide, suicide, genocide, fratricide, patricide, etc. It implies cutting off or killing possibilities, whereas choose implies having multiple options and intentionally selecting the one that best serves you. So I think it is a worthwhile mindset shift, because I believe we need to develop a paradigm and mindset that I am in control and I am doing the choosing in my life. A quote from Stephen Covey, who made, this was one of the points he made in his book, between stimulus and response, there's a space, and that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our happiness. So some particular things that kind of help you put this into practice is try to simplify your daily options so you can save your brain power and willpower for more important choices. And if you get hung up or some of your choices that you're considering are challenging, focus on the good that could arise from the choice rather than the downside, i.e. focus much more on potential gain rather than averting any loss. Principle number 10 is balance organization with restricting creativity. So some people like to be super structured, and I would lean pretty heavily in that direction, whereas other people prefer to have no structure at all. So people who like to completely go with the flow and not plan anything could probably, let me just say, would they would benefit from having more structure and organizations in their lives. And people who really love structure and organization probably need to have a little more going with the flow in their lives or being open to that concept. So the basic idea is seek a balance between those. I would like to make the case, because I've had that experience with some cases with some of my coaching clients, but then just more in general, I've observed that there are people that go with the flow, creatives. You need to stick to a schedule. If you want to actually produce a body of creative work that can earn an audience and a living, then you can't just meander over the landscape of your life. Those folks often think that a time block schedule is the death knell of creativity. I'd like to point out that Charles Dickens and many other highly successful creators did quite well with a fairly rigid schedule. I can kind of understand where those folks are coming from. If my daily schedule was carved in stone, I thought that if I don't stick exactly to the schedule that I initially laid out in the morning, then I have failed for the day. I would have given up using time blocking a long time ago. So your daily schedule is not etched in stone. Instead, think of it as a fairly detailed pencil drawing, but it can be easily corrected and adjusted as the image of your day comes into, better focus. Principle number 11, productivity starts with rejuvenation. Here's a direct quote from Eben on this. The quality of your productivity is built on the quality of your rejuvenation. So in order to lower our stress, increase our energy, increase our focus, really need to allow our bodies, emotions, our minds to rest, renew, and recharge. So the idea that your productivity is actually a function of your rejuvenation is very counterintuitive, but that is actually the reality. The higher the quality of your rejuvenation, the higher the quality of your productivity. So if you want to get really productive, you have to get really good at disconnecting from your work and doing things that relax and inspire you, things that have nothing to do with the work that you do. And that doesn't just mean you should periodically take vacations from work and make sure your weekends have lots of high rest, recharge, relax activities built into them. That's good, but it isn't enough. I say even more important is building those short, high quality rejuvenation periods into each workday. So this will be a reminder, we've covered it, but leverage your ultradian rhythm, that natural cycle of expending and recovering energy that we go through during the day. So we get about 90 to 120 minutes of feeling energized, focused, and motivated, the up cycle. Then we experience a natural drop in energy during a period of about 20 to 30 minutes. And since most of us don't even know this cycle exists, we don't honor that natural rhythm. Instead, a lot of people attempt to just power through the falls in energy, or worse, going eat some sugary snack, have caffeine. So we incorrectly believe that if we rest, we won't be able to come back. But in fact, if we just take that natural relaxation, the 20 to 30 minutes, the energy cycle comes back all by itself naturally, which is one of the powers of the ultradian rhythm. Principle number 12, you need to become the next version of yourself. So you have to become you version 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0 or 5.0 to maximize your productivity. You need to take your thinking, your self-image, your self-esteem to the next level. So whatever level of thinking that you're at right now, you can't solve your significant problems or achieve your big goals without going to that next level. So you need to shift the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. I have a little typo there. I didn't finish cleaning up that slide, but some particular things that help you with principle 12 is practice visualizing that new version of yourself. I do that towards the end of my morning meditation. So here's a quote from Tony Robbins I really like. The past does not equal the future. I think the rest of that quote is, unless you live in the past. So recognize in order to change, you need to become not current you. So a good thing to do is think about what, if anything, you're attached to that might block you from letting go of some aspects of current you. Another really useful thing is to free up energy so that you can change. So as a reminder, what you resist persists. It's such a really good idea to stop investing energy into what you don't want. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want, and that can free up a huge amount of energy. So the action item for this week is we'll discuss which of these 4 principles is either most useful or impactful for you or most challenging for you. I'll go first just briefly, and then I can cycle back if I need to. But for me, principle number 11, I'd say it is the most impactful for me. Once I became really intentional about building in those rest, recharge, relax breaks, I noticed the benefit immediately. Probably the most challenging or the thing I think takes the most ongoing work for me is leveling up. So, hey, Gina.
Hi. Yeah, I agree with you. 11 and 12, 11 most impactful, 12 most challenging.
Cool. Great minds work alike.
I guess so. Yeah. And I am glad that I do take rests during the day and I don't feel guilty about them. I have maybe a cup of tea, maybe my lunch, watch a little bit of TV. I like home improvement shows. So I'll watch one of the hour home improvement shows, or if there's something interesting on the news, I'll watch whatever news cycle it is. Or these days I'm doing a deep dive into the history of the Jacksons. Enjoying watching mafia movies for my class that I'm taking.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that I do during the day. Yeah, as long as I hit my goals, I'm fine.
Right. Well, and I think the additional thought is not only you're not wasting that time, but taking the intentional high quality break actually makes you more productive. So I find I can get a whole lot more done during the day if I build in those breaks versus just trying to power through, which, I mean, years ago when I was a programmer especially, I had the philosophy, just heads down and just burn, grind. And looking back, I'm sure I know that wasn't as productive as I thought it was. But I'm no longer a young man, so even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't. But I'm convinced that it's not as productive as building in those intentional breaks.
Yeah, the same here. I mean, I remember when I was writing my dissertation, I was just doing it morning, noon, and night. I was sitting on the dining room table, just doing it morning, noon, and night. And when I look back on my entire career, I could have been much more productive had I been applying the principles I'm applying now to my career.
All right. Well, thanks for joining today. And
yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed seeing the review because I think I missed a few of them. So
we'll move on. Let me ask, is there anything? I have several potential things I can do, starting next week, but is there any particular productivity topic that you would be most interested in diving into?
Maybe, I don't know if you did this already, not setting doable goals rather than aspirational ones.
Yeah, let me think about that, because it's, I know what you're saying, and I don't necessarily, I think there's a balance there. I mean, I think that you want to have aggressive goals. You want to be aspirational, but it's demotivating if you don't hit the majority of your goals. So it's a good practice to have something that's truly achievable. And most people overestimate how much they can get done in a day, a month, or even a year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that could be a good one. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching this video recording from my live weekly workshop. Every Sunday, I feature instantly actionable steps you can take to overcome procrastination, increase your productivity, and get your shit done. Followed up by Q&A and discussion with the live participants. I really hope you found this video useful and you feel like watching it was time well spent. Please post any questions or comments you have. I always answer posts. I'd appreciate it very much if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you know anyone that would enjoy and benefit from this particular episode, please send them the link. Stay productive, my friends.